So, I am here with High Council again, finally, after many years. And want to introduce yourselves and what you do in the band. We'll start with you.
All right, I'm Greg, and I'm the drummer.
I'm Lou. I play bass and a little bit of keyboards.
I'm Steve. I play guitar, I sing.
Bob. I play guitar, I sing. I'm the fly guy of the band also.
Yeah, he's like the hype man. He gets it going on.
So the last time you played the studio, I think it was 2018?
Sounds about right. Yeah. In support of...
Time has no meaning for us.
Yeah, same here.
But it was a while.
Yeah. It was clearly pre-pandemic.
Cool.
And then I brought, I think, you three, Bob, Lou, and Steve, God, names are hard, on for a short bit of the show during the pandemic.
We're all monosyllabic and impossible to separate.
You were the third person in on that, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
So that was the same show we had, like, Kayla Dixon on, and we had Vinter C on. So I only had so much time for you, but after talking to the three of you for like an hour, I was like, I want you on for the whole show. And so I had, I think, just the two of you on for the entire show.
And that was, we got pretty deep into that. We were talking ghosts.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're talking Star Wars.
Yeah.
A lot of Star Wars. Yeah, we went deep in that.
And then when we opened this up and I contacted you guys, you weren't sure if you were a band anymore.
We weren't sure if we had ascended. It seems we're still a band. We're more of a tribe than a band, but technically a band.
Yeah. You have no idea how happy I was when I found out you were still a band.
Yeah, us too, right?
Yeah, I just think we had to touch base. It was more like, you know, okay. It's like, make sure everyone's like still...
On the same page, yeah.
Yeah, there was a meme that like perfectly summed it up, which was like, you know, the haggard people being like, during the pandemic, like let's write that new album. And they're like, no. And then the second the pandemic's over, it's like, let's write that new album. And it's like, yes. So 2 years in the vortex of, you know. But, you know, we came out and we decided we wanted to do the new album. So that's what we're doing.
And it's the same lineup. So how long has this lineup been together?
It's a good question.
2012-ish?
I
Yeah.
thought you were going to say 20 years.
Well, the whole band, 20 years.
Really?
Yeah.
I think Bob and I started writing in 2003, I want to say.
Sounds about
We
right.
started writing our first EP, and then Steve came on shortly after. And then the first EP was released in 2005.
Okay.
So yeah, the band's more than 20 years old.
So who was in the original formation?
It was
Oh boy, we're going to get the whole Spinal Tap history
Yeah.
going on right now.
It's really not that bad. It's me, Bob, Steve, and then we had a bass player, and then another bass player, and then and then Greg came 2011, 2010, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere around that time. Yeah, because
I did for a couple years, and then there was a guitarist, and then I came back.
and we're skipping you were playing drums
Yeah,
back in the day.
I played drums on the first couple albums, and then switched to bass, and then
Yeah, Greg's like the John Henry of the band because we had a machine doing it.
we did.
He came in.
Except I didn't defeat the machine. I just failed my way to the top somehow. The machine is definitely superior to me.
I still have that. It was like a Boss. What was it? Like a Boss, like TR-808 or something like that. Something a little better than that. But yeah, we used to just. This was before, the modern, drum software and all that stuff. So I was just like programming it with samples in the basement, and it was it took a really long time.
So you're kind of like the Sisters of Mercy.
Yeah,
Sounded just like
for
them.
a while.
Yeah.
For a while we had, and we took that drum machine out and played shows.
Yeah, we had some decent shows with that drum machine.
Well, people didn't like it though. I think
yeah.
one of the critiques, we opened for Airborne, so that was probably one of our first shows opening for a touring act, and people were like, "Where's the drummer?" And we're like, our friends never said that. Our friends acted like it was all fine, But then when we got out into the public, they liked the drummer. It turns out, so we eventually did that.
I saw a band a couple of years ago whose drummer, I didn't realize didn't have a drummer. They had a drummer and he quit, so they used the drum machine. But the drum kit for the other band was still there, and I wasn't really paying attention until they mentioned there was, no drummer, and I went, what?
Yeah, those cymbals aren't moving.
It's like, hey, there's no drummer.
Well, that's good. They kept up the farce.
So if they put like a half decent mannequin,
Right,
they might have
yeah.
actually
Yeah.
Just keep it
been
in
able
low
to pass
light.
spot. Yeah.
yeah, people just think it's an ugly drummer.
Just a blow-up doll or something back there. Yeah.
Just get it like how you have like when you work from home, you get those things that you put your mouse on that moves it around. Something that like taps the symbol every now and again. It's not even in sync with the song; it's just moving. So you're like, yeah, whatever.
So,
Just a
where'd the
chime.
name High Council come from?
Oh.
Star Trek, right?
Yeah, we were big Star Trek fans. I remember we were in the kitchen. I forget of whose house, like during a party, and we were trying to figure out a name. Was it the old apartment?
No, I think that was somewhere in Mount Ephraim.
Yeah.
But we were in the kitchen and we were going through names, and I think Gannon was in the running for a while.
Oh, that's a good name.
Gannon was in the running for
There's
a while.
gotta
But
be
we
a Gannon,
High
man.
Council just just felt right.
Yeah, really good.
I see you shifted sides with the hammer.
Yeah. My leg was uncomfortable.
Is that heavy? Is that
Not
heavy?
for me.
Oh, you're just, of course. I'm asking the wrong
I mean, do you
guy.
want to wield it?
I just wanna
We should all have a turn wielding.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
I don't want to.
Only the person with the hammer can talk.
Yeah.
I don't want to monopolize the hammer.
This is nice.
Well, and you're
Steve.
you're located where?
So we're in South Jersey, right near Philly.
Okay.
So
So close enough to Philly to be kind of built for.
basically, well,
So,
yeah,
Are you sure?
it's the closest major metropolitan area.
All right. Okay.
And also, maybe the closest in our hearts.
Yeah.
That's what really matters, doesn't it?
It really does.
And so, how many releases total do you have now?
Oh man.
And we listened to them all on the way here.
That sounds so vain, but like we hadn't listened to it so long. We're like,
Was it
oh, forgot
five or
about
six
this
now?
song. Oh, okay. This.
So from the top, all rise. Motion denied.
No further
No
questions.
further questions.
Time served.
Time served. Held in contempt.
Ember.
Ember single double. Shorty P. And that's 6.
And our open call.
And the
Up and coming. Cruel and unusual.
Cruel and unusual. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, have you? All right. None of those are.
We're almost on our A tier pun time.
yeah, courtroom puns.
Yeah,
We still gotta do overruled.
we do.
And
So
so
you've
help
got
you
the gavel
God.
now.
So help you God. And
Yeah, where's your gavel?
and the
Yep.
court of last resort.
What was the secret one that we had when?
Oh, surprise witness.
Yes.
We do have a bootleg demos called surprise witness, but yeah,
They're all live recordings that sound
if we do so help you God, they're gonna bust out the you're a Christian band again.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
But we mean it in like a threatening way, like so help you God, not like so help you God. You know.
Yeah, people labeled us a Christian band for a while, and then we were honestly listening to our first album, and I used to get mad at it, and then I'm like, I totally understand. Our album, shit.
It was yeah.
Well, the first. So I was listening to your stuff nonstop before you came up to play the studio the first time. And my girlfriend at the time is like, are they a Christian band? And I'm like, what? Maybe? I don't know now. Like, she just caught certain things in your lyrics that sounded biblical. And I'm like, maybe?
Part of me wants to lean in hard on the Christian rock thing. Do you see like the mega stadiums that like Joel scene
Play a
They make money.
Joel.
playing for 9 million people?
and I remember coming into the studio and talking to you guys and going, so you guys are a Christian metal band? You're all like, no, why does everyone think that?
Yeah.
That was actually the first time I had heard it, and I was like, "Where's that coming from?" And I started like thinking about like some of the lyrics, and they're. I was like, "Oh, because there's a lot of lyrics about morality, and then sometimes like there's like maybe some things that are like from Christianity, but there's also like songs about like demons and stuff, like like giant
We have plenty
water
of songs
demons
that
and
are
stuff. So it's like
about nonsense.
There's one song that makes me think of Doctor Who. I think it's Super User. Like lyrically, it makes me think of something like Doctor Who would say.
Well, I've never watched Doctor Who. I think I wrote most of the lyrics for that, and I think Steve wrote some. But I was listening to a lot of Monster Magazine.
I was going to say the other thing it reminds me of is Monster Magazine.
I was like on a tear, buddy. I was like, I couldn't get enough. I was spinning Monster Magnet like all day, every day, and I'm just like, this shit is wild. I'm gonna do something like that. So I think that's what started it, and then we kind of like, we worked it, workshopped it, and yeah, kind of like a stream of consciousness, sort of like psychedelic type vibe.
This is a hairy fucking hammer. I don't even get a close up on that.
I don't think I would have guessed that.
It's just like so fuzzy. Sorry, I can't.
That's the squirrel crusher.
Wait, what?
It's a genuine hammer.
turn.
No, it's a good mallet, It's like hard wood.
I think one of my co-hosts got it at a Ren Fair or something like that, and brought it to the station, and it became mine.
The station hammer.
Nice.
We need to get a big LARP weapon hammer because we're going to shoot a video for the first track that we played tonight next month.
Oh,
And
nice.
it will feature us running around with big hammer.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's all we can tell you
it's a
because that's
concept.
all we know at this point. There's going to be a lot of ad lib.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to crowdsource ideas,
Yeah, put them in the comments.
we're all ears.
Yeah.
So of the songs you played tonight, how many of them are on the new record? You did 6 songs, right?
Yeah, we did 6.
Ember's on the last release. And what was the other one?
The other non-new album material was Sam Soul's Blizzard.
Okay.
It was on Motion Denied. It's a banger. Can I gotta derail this conversation
Sure.
for a second because something's been burning in my mind. We all know the Mandela effect, right?
Oh, yeah.
So apparently there is a bunch of people that have a Mandela effect about Star Trek episodes that have never been written or aired. But like, I don't know what ones they're talking about. Like people that are convinced that certain episodes happened and like they never were actually like written. So I would probably like if I knew which ones they were talking about, I would probably wholeheartedly agree. Like yes, that happened.
Right.
Can you give us any examples?
No. That's why I brought.
I'm starting to think.
I brought it to the table to see if anyone else had further information. And
Okay, so far do not.
okay.
I will get in touch with you guys. if
I think
get
this
any more
phenomenon you're
information.
describing is itself a Mandela effect.
Yeah, you are meta Mandela right now.
It might be.
The ones I know are like Berenstain Bears or
Yep,
whatever,
yep.
and then like I don't know, it was a documentary or something.
Fruit
Richard
Loops.
Simmons did not have a
Bandana.
headband apparently.
The Fruit of the Loom one's kind of weird. I don't know, the one that got me is the James Bond movie. Moonraker.
Yeah.
You have the guy Jaws, and at the end of the movie he crashes to the earth. And then this girl with braces comes up to him, and she smiles, and he smiles, or he smiles, and she smiles and has braces, and then they have that moment. Except she doesn't have braces.
I don't.
And a guy who wrote a book on reality as a simulation brought it up and went, it doesn't make sense.
Don't get Bob
Yeah,
started.
we were talking about this on the way up.
You done it now. Now you've done it.
Like, it literally doesn't make sense that the girl didn't have braces. And it's like, yeah, okay.
What would their connecting point be?
Exactly.
We're connecting over
It's
a
like
smile.
Jaws is just
Not
trying to
creepy.
smash.
It's
Like I just crashed from space.
One that I
I'll take
wholeheartedly
anything.
remember is the Sinbad in
Oh, right.
the Shazam movie or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
I'm
the
like,
messed
yes.
up one lately.
Yeah,
That was
well,
bad.
Oh yeah,
That one killed me. I'm like, I vividly remember that.
Yeah, he was a
And-
genie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yes.
was.
And
He was in it.
I sort of too.
Yeah. It really happened.
There are also plenty of wrestlers who have died who didn't die. Or I'm like, wait, they're still alive? I could have sworn they were dead. What? You know?
So many died for a short period of time, so
True.
it messed it up. Messed things up.
Well, that's because wrestling's popularity hit at one point, and then those guys in the early days got old all at the same time.
yeah. And then you just assume, as a person who the world revolves around you, that anyone you're not paying attention to is
It's
dead.
dead, of course, yes. You get it.
I often think what some of the greatest experiences human beings have ever had, like...
Did you say consperiences?
That's exactly what I heard.
Oh,
I love that. That's a good word.
let me rephrase. I'm having
like
a
it.
think
Experience right now.
out of all the experiences that all humans have had throughout human existence, like, what are some of the best ones? And since we're talking about wrestling, it's like WrestleMania 3 with Hulk and Andre the Giant. There's like 90,000 people at that event.
Yeah.
And could you imagine like being a heel and being Hogan back at the time where everyone's like, like wrestling's real,
Right.
like, and to just that alone, to be in that ring, like you know, and just experience that with 90,000 people surrounding you, I'm like, I don't know. That has to somehow warp space time
Right,
to do something.
right.
Like it's nuts. So it's crazy. I don't know.
Well, there's what was it? Random number generators that they have set up all over the earth. On 9/11, all became non-random.
In what way?
They all started generating the similar numbers, I think. So they said the randomness of things went down when 9/11 happened. And so they don't know what to make of it. They're just like, why did the random number generator stop being so random when this big event happened?
The idea that the simulations took up so much processing power that the random number generator inside it, all the random number generators were weakened.
It could be.
They're like, we need to save RAM, so we're gonna put these on the same seed while these
Or
planes
it's something that
crash.
so much consciousness was focused on one thing that we don't know where randomness can really derive from, in a sense, because we don't know what reality is.
But random number generators aren't random, right? Like a computer
Right.
can't actually
Yep.
create randomness.
It's based off the
Well,
timestamp.
maybe a quantum computer.
Huh? Really?
I think they have better chances of creating randomness.
Yeah, there may not be true randomness, but it
may-
makes you wonder
may I-
about big events like WrestleMania. Like, is it
I'm gonna turn.
is it one of those things where like when you have that many people focused on one thing, does it have literally an effect on reality?
I would look. I don't know, man. I would say
What
yeah.
if wrestling was real until that moment?
And that moment was so powerful for me to fake.
I mean, if that was true, Joel Osteen probably has 9 billion people every Sunday, so it's like
Tony Robbins.
he's living that WrestleMania life every weekend.
Look, I mean, it's the power of like human emotion. It's like we don't know what kind of effect or what kind of like meta effects, like large groups of people like having some like kind of like a crazy like experience like that. Maybe it does have some.
We know all about it because we routinely play till
Yeah, well, everyone we do play to has a very spiritual experience.
What is the biggest show you've played?
It's probably
Probably supporting Aether Realm and Ailstorm.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
And Necrogoblicon.
Yeah,
That was a great show.
that was just a really powerful
That was
show.
probably four or 500 people.
Yeah, it was. Although, I mean,
Sold out.
the folk metal fest we played was pretty large too.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Yeah, Maryland Folk
pretty
Metal
good.
Festival.
I remember being like so fucking hammered for that after we played, and I was having the time of my life.
But this was our first show back after the pandemic.
Oh yeah,
So this was like our
Wait, which show are you talking
the
about?
Voltage Lounge where you're playing Magic the Gathering with the guy from Ailstorm.
Oh yeah,
Who won, by the way?
the lights went out in the back room we were playing in, and then we were like, okay, let's just go.
Well, up to that point.
No, it was literally pitched. It was we were playing Magic the Gathering, and no one was winning, and then it's that game could take a while.
We were a bunch of losers.
Yeah, and then the lights went out, and we're like, all right, well, let's pack it up. We're out here for something else.
So the lights went out at the Voltage Lounge?
No, it was so it's in Philly, and there's
there's
three
a big-
buildings all connected,
there's a
right?
big
So the
venue.
Voltage Lounge is in
Yeah.
this skyscraper, so it's there's all these open just rooms who knows what the fuck goes on, and we just found one of them. And we were playing in there.
Well, you
That's-
weren't supposed to be there, clearly.
That same night, the way it's set up, there's the stage at the Voltage Lounge, and there's a area you go up 3 or 4 steps, and you go through a curtain. The stage is on the left, and you make a turn and go down a hallway to the right, to where your gear is. And I went to go check something, And I go up the stairs, I turn around essentially what's a blind corner, and I walk face first into that dude's kilt. Hanging from It was terrible. It was at the end of their tour. It was so
Oh my gosh.
When you're on tour, you don't have access to a lot of washing machines, so you probably had sense. They were pretty potent.
These are the things you do to get better shows.
That was one of the best nights of my life.
It was one of the worst nights.
I had recently started dating who is now my wife, and the first time I met her dad, she's like, "I'll just bring him to this show." So it's like I'm like, we were doing face paint and weird stuff. So it's like he's out there having a cigarette. And it's like, "Oh, it's my dad." I'm like, "Hey, nice to meet you." I'm just like tripping and like, but like. I did not know. I hadn't listened to any of the bands at that point, and I was like, "Oh, this is great." And we were on what, first or second? We were on second.
Second, yeah. Parias was that the band?
I don't know.
So after all, like I knew Ailstorm a little bit, but Necrogoblicon, that was my first like experience with them. So I was just like, I was living life. I was in the crowd. I'm like, in the pit, going crazy. And I think like they mistook me for a seasoned fan, because there's a part in the song where it's like they point the mic at the audience and have them sing. Well, I'm like right up front and I'm getting into it, and like they just point the mic at me during one part, and I'm just like. I felt like I let them down, but like, I don't know. I was having a great time.
You were in the moment. That's
Yes.
all that matters.
It makes you feel so powerful.
Yeah, I feel like a
Powerful man.
I feel like someone who's got
that's
something
not rum.
stuck that needs to be unstuck.
So as far as songwriting for the new record goes, how's that progress? Like who writes what?
It's a pretty even split between
Yeah.
Lou and me.
Should we reveal our secrets about how we came up with the new material?
What, by going to old material?
Yeah, should we tell them about that? Or
Yeah.
All right, so it's a little bit of a career retrospective. Some of the stuff is brand new. Some of the stuff is just good songs that we haven't gotten to in our 20-year career. So it's really a mix. We're not going to tell you which is which. Everyone will have to guess. But yeah, some of the stuff we've been playing for a very long time. But just never got, like when we go in the studio, it's like you got to make choices. Everything we do takes fucking forever. So it's like, got to make choices about what's going to make this record. We only have this much time. We want to get stuff out.
We did the thing where like you put like the M&Ms of your songs on the table and you make them like smash each other into only one is left that's whole. I'm like that's going in.
What?
You know?
I have no idea. What's wrong with you?
How he makes decisions.
I don't know if everybody should
I buy this car?
I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about?
You ever like lined up your M&Ms like they're like two opposing armies and you just like
We're all learning at the
just,
same
like smash
time.
one against the other, and if it breaks, then like that's like God's decision or whatever.
That is the fucking craziest
I
thing.
just ate the M&Ms.
Are these peanut?
I would eat smashed M&Ms.
I mean, I don't know, but like it can be whatever your
Whatever
pleasure
M&M
is,
yeah.
whatever makes you happy.
Any two
Okay.
things of equal like mass and
it's
thickness that
basically
can break.
it's like flipping a coin, but it's tastier.
Nice.
Like you're smashing them together, so you're taking an M&M like this and going like this.
No, well, yeah, no, it's better if you hold one down so it doesn't slip around. The other one you gotta like, really pinch. It's just like
I feel like
get after it.
I feel like there's an advantage to one. I feel
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Like, are you using like a smaller surface area on the one than the other one?
Yeah, you
Whoa,
are.
you know-
Yeah.
Well, then that
This
one's
is-
gonna win.
It's like college football. It's all offense.
Here's what you do: you make them compete in some kind of test beforehand, and whichever one loses that test, that's the one that has to sit.
That's the only fair way to
You
do it.
You spin them
like,
and see if the M
gotta
shows up.
pregame
or
it.
not.
Oh, like you could put them like down a Price is Right Plinko thing,
Oh
and
my
whichever one
gosh.
gets there first, that's the one that gets the advantageous position.
Yeah, you gotta sort them
I
somehow,
love
you know.
Plinko.
All right, so that's what we did. that's what I did when I had to pick my songs.
Wait.
What about the
Sorry, what was the question?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's the Mandela effect.
Maybe with lyrics.
Lyrics. So what did we write? Okay, so one of the songs. So we do have a good news story. One of the songs we rented a cabin in the Poconos, and we were just like, we're so fucking slow at writing like new songs. So we're gonna just. We got a place for the weekend, and we're like, we're gonna pretend like we're one of these, we're Queen or something. We're like sequestered on our own. So I was like, the goal was go in, come out with a full song. And we pretty much did it. And Bob, I remember we were sitting there, like, because we had most of the music done, and then we're sitting there, and I just remember Bob, I guess, had just been drinking. And then it was like 11 p.m.
Part of the process.
Yeah, it was part of the process. It was like 11 p.m., like the night right before we had to check out the next morning. And Bob just comes in and belts out like half the lyrics to the song for Cruel and Unusual, which was the first song we played tonight. And it was just like, whoa, he fucking nailed it. So I guess one of the processes is we just let Bob drink until he just chads into a room like the Kool-Aid Man and like sings a verse in the chorus.
Yeah, we were really kind of like we exhausted all of our creative juice on like the instrumentation, and we were just kind of like picking at the vocals at the end, like.
Yeah.
Tired and.
The vocal writing process usually does start with a very intentional bout of drinking.
Yeah.
That's where the Jackal song came from.
Yeah, I think
those are hilarious. The sessions right now.
Oh, dude, it's great. It's like if you're not laughing hysterically at the lyrics that you're writing, then you're not doing it right. Even if the lyrics are like good and serious,
they have to be so good and serious that you just like laugh your ass off.
It breaks you. And
you're like, I have never been this serious in my life. I don't know what to do.
So there's no one person who writes lyrics.
No, I mean, no. Like we either write them all together, or one person will have kind of the majority. I think like the second song we played, my wife's family lives in Michigan, so we have 9 hour. You know, we take 9 hour drives to go, and it's like in between rest stops. I'm just like, I think I wrote most of the lyrics to that song just on a drive because it's like you're driving. There's not much else to do. So.
Fair enough.
And some of the stuff we wrote back in the day, like the lyrics are like terrible.
Yeah.
So we have to like, all right, we got to redo some of this.
Oh, so some of the old songs you're recovering.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made some editorial changes.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I would hope, looking at it now, your lyrics will always get better over time, not worse. So.
Well, it's difficult because I had a hard time remembering the lyrics in the first place, and now we put more lyrics on, and it's just like,
you think the tabula rasa would have helped?
Yeah.
So, what about shows? Anything upcoming?
Tomorrow.
Well,
people probably won't see this.
Yeah, we should have said it during the live stream.
Yeah.
Damn, Greg was right. We should have talked more on the live stream because we have a show tomorrow in Philly. And then after that, we're just trying to finish this album.
Yeah, we're mostly focused on that, so.
Yeah, it's tough because we told ourselves, okay, let's focus on the studio. We're not going to play any shows. And this is like our third show that we played.
In the last 2 months, yeah.
Yeah, and it's rough because we like to do everything. We love being out there. We love the performance that we did there. I was absolutely into it. And it's great. It's just it's very hard to focus on one thing at a time because you're in the studio, you want to concentrate on the parts, but it's like when you're also doing a show, you want to make sure you have everything down. And so it's it's hard to juggle everything. Sorry. No, the hammer.
God, it's like I said, the balloon you got to keep in the air kind of a thing.
I feel like I could get used to this.
You look like you need to be on a throne right now.
It just feels right.
Judging which M&Ms get the better.
Could you imagine? If any M&M should survive this hammer smash, it shall dictate my decisions. That's how you do things.
So when are you aiming for the new record to be out?
Summer.
We said June.
To be out?
June is next.
No. Just June.
June isn't
you done opened a can of worms here.
Yeah. We were talking about trying to finish recording in June.
Yeah, finish recording in June would be nice.
Oof.
But then which might be a bit of a challenge.
Well, because we have a video to shoot.
Yeah.
But you have to do it. You got to shoot a video these days. Nobody,
I mean,
are you shooting a video for a song that's not done?
Well, we have rough mixes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have this
track set up. So yeah.
So we can do that, but you have to do it these days. You gotta get a video out there. No one gives a shit.
Yeah.
And we've just never been able to really get a good video, but we have a good friend who's gonna do it with us, and
Cool.
Should be fun. At least it'll be funny, I think.
If we set up enough cameras, we can at least have a funny making of video.
Yeah, we'll get some good behind the scenes footage.
So-
like the making of the worst video in history.
Your previous releases are all EPs, right?
Well, okay, technically, Held in Contempt was received as an album
It was 6 songs?
because it had 6 songs, and we didn't think that was going to happen, but that's how that record label.
There's a weird
Promoted
calculus that
it.
goes into what counts as an EP versus an album, isn't
Yeah.
It is weird. It's like it was shorter than one of our EPs, but it was, they called it an album. And then everyone's critique of the album was it's too short. And it's like, good
Yeah,
stuff, too
yeah.
short. I'm like, well, what if it was an EP? Is it a 10 out of 10 now? Like,
No, all your stuff is too short.
yeah. Well,
She said.
It's the worst part about it is it ends.
It's always like the songs are long, the albums are short.
Right.
Yeah.
but I mean, there is something to be said for brevity because who wants filler tracks, right?
No,
Nobody.
that's true. That's very true.
I have very limited patience for listening to albums. I feel like the LP length, 8 songs that can fit on LP, I feel like that's a perfect length for an album. I don't know, like you get 10 to 12 songs, 55, 60 minutes. Dang, you're going to have some dead space there, It's just
You don't
how it
have
goes.
to. It depends on the band. There's some perfect albums out there that are an hour long.
That are an hour long.
Well, okay.
Maybe-
I'll throw out perfect Fate's Warning, Pleasant Shade of Grey. One song, 50 minutes long. I think it's perfect.
Man, I mean, look, no offense. Fate's Warning kind of fell off for me after, I like the early stuff.
So do I. They're one of my favorite bands overall. And it took me some time to warm up to those other albums
Yeah.
because it's such a complete departure from what it sounded like early on.
Yeah.
But Pleasant Shade of Grey, after I listened to it a few times, I'm like, God, this is good.
Have you heard Arch Mateos?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
stuff's great.
I was so happy when that stuff came out. I was like, yes, it's back. But then I listened to the newest Fate's Warning stuff, and I was just like, falling asleep.
The new one is about 50% good and 50%
Yeah.
skip.
I guess that's the thing too. It's like when you're in the process of making it, you're like, do I trust myself to make that much music at once and be able to curate it well enough that I know everything is like it's a perfect album that's an hour long.
Right.
That's hard to do,
Yeah, it is. Yes.
because you do find like, all right, I have to do this all the time. You're like, is this intro long enough? Is it interesting? Does it need to evolve more before it gets to the next part? And then like before you know it, like you've overwritten the whole song, and then like you're like, well, that could be shorter, or it's missing something because we decided to put time in the place that it's easier to put time in places than it is to evolve it musically in a more clever way, It's
That makes
easy just to
sense.
be like, let's just modulate this or add a harmony or whatever. It's very easy to do that, and easier to do that than be like, well, what could we really do that makes it unexpected? So
All right. So no other shows than just the album.
Just the one.
no, you'll have to just watch us on social media.
Yeah, the one show for now. We do, like, you got to book pretty far in advance. So, like, I am hoping that when we know what's happening with the album, when we have a release date, when we can tell everybody when the release date is, we'll be in the process of, like, booking shows to support it, doing some traveling, hopefully, if anyone wants to put us on a big heavy metal festival, give us a call.
Yeah. No, seriously. Lou takes care of the brunt of that, but like it's.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's been a difficult journey trying to get in the foray of playing shows again. Well, booking shows, getting on shows. So, yes, if anyone watched and they like what they.
Yeah, you like what you're
please
saying? Huh?
give us some shows after June.
With the hammer for a little bit.
I'm good.
Okay.
I don't want to transfer too much of my power to it.
It's definitely not getting heavy at all. Do this for days.
All right. Where can people find you on social media?
At High Council Band on Instagram and Facebook. High
Bandcamp.
Council Bandcamp. Actually, yeah. And then
All your stuff isn't on Bandcamp on the same Bandcamp page though.
okay, right. So the real Bandcamp is highcouncil.bandcamp.com. So go there.
Okay.
That's where most of it is. And then we're on Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff.
Okay. What's not on your Bandcamp? Is it just the last single?
That is up there now.
Okay.
So that's
All
up there
right.
now. That we don't have All Rise up there, which is our first album.
EP.
That's okay.
EP, yeah.
That is perfectly fine.
Bob's okay with it.
I'm okay with that.
You could just DM us and we'll ship it to you.
Yeah, we have like a million of them because we in the very nascent beginning of our band, we're like, we need to. This is our first thing. This is the best thing we've ever done because we're.
Yeah. This is the only thing you
How
ever
many,
did.
how many should we press? Like 5,000?
No,
That's what it fucking feels like.
it feels like it was 1,000, and they did an overrun, and they're like, if they do an overrun, you get. It was such a good deal. Oh, they're so cheap if you do 1,000. Well, then they overran and gave us like an extra 200 for free, and now
So yeah, it's like we all moved several times. We keep finding boxes. Of what the hell?
Please buy them.
Yeah, it's like they're going to be buried next to the
ET cartridges.
Yeah.
This is not an uncommon problem for bands.
Yeah, I mean we
You run out of the shirts. The CDs are forever.
yeah.
Do you have shirts?
We do.
Yeah, we have
Okay.
shirts.
I was gonna say, who does the artistic, like, who's the creative one that does like album art and T-shirts, stuff like that?
Well,
I mean,
we
none of us are the artists.
yeah we
Okay.
we find people. That's kind of one of my favorite things. I love going out there and kind of finding different artists, be it people we know or finding people online who can do stuff. Like the Ember cover was. I just came across this art for like some relatively, I think, unknown kind of like doom bands, and I was like, oh, who did that cover? Some painter from Brazil. So I just emailed him, and he was like down to do a cover. So
And we're like, oh, we got it.
I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's like Kale Piloto or something. But if you check out our, he's credited on our album, so you can find him. But yeah, it's like beautiful painting, and just going out and kind of like discovering people, and like we just got a shirt done. It was by a completely different artist, and that's super fun for me just to find like people who are doing this heavy metal stuff in different styles and kind of like getting commissioning work, and I love that.
Yeah, I think it also depends on like what we're going for because the shirt is line art.
Yeah.
And so, somebody's going to be good at line art.
Right.
Wouldn't necessarily be good at album covers and such. So, I think we come up with the concept first and then figure out who will be really good at implementing that concept.
And who's doing the new album art?
It's this person on Instagram. They're called Apocalyptic Nuke is the handle, and they've done a lot of stuff for other like the new old school metal bands, and they kind of have a cool like new old school style, like sort of a combination between like more modern stuff and like kind of like 80s looking covers and stuff. So it's gonna be cool.
All right. Anything else you want to tell people?
Yeah, let's get into some deep stuff.
Yeah.
Ask us some hard-hitting questions.
Okay. All right. What is something that most people would consider normal and common that you've never done?
Cover song?
Well, it doesn't have to be band-wise. Band-wise or personally.
That's a good answer though. Like we flirted with the idea of doing covers, and I think probably like most bands do a cover at one point.
Yeah,
and
usually.
we never have, except one time. We did a Kickstarter for Time Served, and one of the prizes was you got to play a song with us at a show and name the cover song.
Oh.
So we
That's right.
did. I forget.
Where did you sleep?
Yeah, Where Did You Sleep Last Night? I forget what the actual title is. With a friend of ours who donated like $500,
Nice.
and I think that was the only time we performed a cover.
Was I there? I don't remember.
That
Yes,
was
you
a-
were there.
that was a party then.
It was we played at a party.
Oh, at a
Yeah,
party.
yeah.
It was a party at my house, yeah.
Yeah, at Greg's house.
All right, I got one for us. All right, I'd like to get your opinions. What is the better Star Trek, TNG or Deep Space Nine?
Oh, you're gonna hate my answer.
If you had to pick,
Discovery.
And I was gonna say, and Voyager is not an option, even though it had some great Borg episodes.
Sure.
It did.
I would go with The Next Generation because I couldn't finish Deep Space Nine. I got about halfway through it and stopped watching it, and then watched the end of it and liked the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
But never. It's the only Star Trek series I have not watched all the way through.
Yeah, I mean, like
my heart.
the middle. It's like the middle of it is so good.
When I tried to rewatch some of it, I couldn't deal with the Ferengi, and I just couldn't do it.
That's like it's like the Ferengi stuff. It's like so annoying and like. Yeah, I think season 3, it's like every other episode you gotta deal with that shit. And it's like, it's hard to get through.
Discovery is my favorite Star Trek series.
I don't think I've seen any of it.
It's dark, and it's not as much like within the rails of Star Trek.
But I do also have like, I'm predisposed against prequels. Because I don't know, maybe I'm linear because I have like nascent obsessive compulsive disorder, but it's like why do you always have to go back?
True.
Okay, one prequel, fine. 2 prequels, 3 prequels now with Star Trek. Like, what happens next?
Well, Discovery, they also time travel to the future. So.
Way into the
Spoiler.
future.
Well, you know, come on.
Lower Decks is also really good.
I haven't seen Lower Decks yet.
I don't generally like animation, and that show is hilarious because it just makes fun of Star Trek all the way through.
Yeah, that's cool. I should watch that. I mean, I did watch Picard.
Picard was good.
But I thought it was good. I mean, I thought the second season was unwatchably bad.
I didn't think
And
it
then
was that
the third
bad,
season
but yeah, the first
Gets
season was
with
good.
back to business.
I enjoyed Discovery. I think I've seen the first 2 seasons, and I dug it. There's some questionable stuff in it, but like again with like it being a prequel and like okay, well, how did they do this? And it's a prequel, and we didn't hear about it in the other ones. But like, I mean, I think you're gonna have that problem.
They do manage to explain a lot of it.
I really wanted. I really had high hopes for Enterprise.
Yeah.
And it just fell short because I was raised on Quantum Leap.
Yeah.
I'm just like, you have perfect captain right here, and then
Yep.
Yeah.
And the new Quantum Leap was not that good.
I didn't even.
I didn't know they remade it.
They didn't remake it. They continued it.
Yeah, which I like that. I like that
really?
idea.
So
Okay.
did
But
I.
Al died, right?
Yeah.
Al die?
Yeah, the guy who played him died.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I saw that guy walking around Philly one day. Like I was just on my lunch break. I had a co-op job.
What's his name? Dean Martin?
No,
No.
Dean Stockwell.
Dean Martin.
I like the idea that they continued it, but it just felt too like a young poppy, like NCIS type show.
Yeah. Well, that and it, it's an '80s idea being done now. It's kind of like, ooh, this doesn't quite work now.
Oh boy.
Well played.
Yes.
Needs more soft rock synth keyboards in the intro. Oh, I have an answer to your question
Okay.
about something everyone does that's normal and I don't. Is liking Taylor Swift.
That's not normal.
No.
That's some kind of weird national aberration.
No, I don't. Everybody. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't hate on pop music anymore, but that stuff is boring to me.
Yes.
It's very boring.
Oh, hang on. Let's bring it back a sec. So, two of my heroes that I grew up on. Who would win in a fight between the two? They have anything that they want at their disposal. You have Macgyver and then Scott Bakula in Quantum Leap. What was his name? Dr. Sam Beckett. You have Dr. Sam Beckett versus Macgyver. Macgyver can have whatever gadgets he wants, but also Sam Beckett has the use of Ziggy and Al.
Can he just like leap into a tougher guy and like fight Macgyver?
That kind of depends who he's leaped into.
I don't think he gets to choose who he leaves into. I thought that was the whole thing, right?
Sleeps into a paraplegic. Oh boy.
All right, the two, Macgyver and Sam Beckett smash M&Ms together and basically smash one
Sleeps into a Boston Terrier.
I mean, it would be a hell of like a video game thing because like Macgyver, you'd have like a known set of moves and like Sam Beckett would be the guy who, like, you use the power and it's random.
He'd be like a Shang Tsung.
Yes!
Yes!
Yes! You would just, like, get a random guy.
Anyone he's previously leaped into, he can Shang Tsung into.
Well, that's.
But
that's
Dr. Sam Beckett has Ziggy to like figure out like what the odds are that MacGyver's thing will work and find some way around it.
Yo,
it's tough.
Quantum Leap got weird because I think I missed a season where there's like a devil anti Sam Beckett and it's trying to do bad for the world but it's actually like they work for Lucifer or something. Like what?
That's why I'm saying like the ideas don't quite travel over into our current.
I don't know. That sounds fucking badass, though, man. I didn't know there was an evil Quantum Leap guy.
Because I mean, it's implied that like God is controlling the leaps.
Well, I mean, yeah, because even in the original, they kind of had, or maybe the original. It's been so long since I've seen that, but I think the original series finale. I think they kind of had some.
Well, Quantum Leap. Yeah, the last episode, it's like they kind of like it heavily implies that.
Yeah. Y'all are deep in Quantum Leap lore. I'm just not at that level.
Deep in the leap.
I watched it. No, when I was a kid, I watched it every day.
Yeah.
But I guess I didn't get that far.
It was like perfect. You had like MacGyver, then Quantum Leap, then TNG.
Every day for 23
and then
days.
bedtime.
Like after 3 hours TV.
Oh,
I'm gonna go to bed.
TV.
When you didn't play sports, the majesty of the television.
Yeah, it really frees up a lot of time when you're on football practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
All right. Well, I guess I'll let you guys go.
No, one more.
One more. All right, one more.
But I don't have any ideas.
You get the full experience, you know.
Yeah, we want the people to get their money's worth on YouTube. Okay, if you could have any superpower besides flying or being invisible, what would it be, Bob?
Ooh. Like an already established like superpower that we
I don't know.
of?
I didn't really think this through.
Okay. I guess I would go with
Free porn subscription, man.
yes. Yes, any subscription that I wanted was free. And I didn't have to enter a username or password. I just,
That would be a great power.
just got to click a button and let me in whatever site.
It's a button only you can see.
Yes.
Yes, dude.
My power would be I get to change the terms of service on them.
That's great. These are all topical.
Yeah. I think I would want to be supernaturally lucky and not know that I have powers. And just be like a fucking Mr. Magoo.
Naive, man. Naive.
Yeah.
And just go through life thinking it's all based on skill and not luck.
Well,
Yeah.
no. I mean, I want to I get to maintain that innocence, or you ruin the power. You know, because if otherwise it just becomes like a really like enhanced like white privilege thing, and you're just like, like, what am I doing?
All right, and my power would be just make money. The end.
Probably the best power.
I was like, that's how cynical I am. I'm like, my superpower would just be like what
Fast
rich
facts.
people already have.
You're just Batman.
All right.
They've tried to stop the show 3 times already. Really he pry those eyes open.
I'm all right if you guys want to keep talking. I'm just worried things are going to shut off. Batteries are going to die.
I was curious earlier about like what are your influences that have kind of cultivated your sound? Like
Ooh, it's a good question.
A
real
We're
question.
all over
Thank
the
you.
place.
on this one for like
We're
Wait,
all
are you
over
saying the
place.
other questions weren't real?
No.
They were,
I'm saying Bob's questions were real. He's like trying to take over the narrative here.
Trying to back things up to a place we've never been before.
Bob's like, he's driving here like, if we don't talk about Quantum Leap for the first 30 minutes, I'm making it happen.
This is a good question because these two are metalheads and they have a lot of the same influences where I was not a metalhead at all until I met them. And I slowly realized like it's honestly the best form. Like I love writing music and it is the best form of music to write because it is so you might not think about it at first, but it is so open to all different kinds of intricate styles. Like I can be as classical as I want, I can be like punk rock like esque if I want, but like it's quality complicated music that is great. And I was like raised off of like one of my favorite bands growing up was Green Day. It's like Green Day, Radiohead, and Tool, and those were like the trinity of bands that like I listened to. But when it came to writing, and these guys like toss me a band every now and again. Listen to these guys. It's like it just seemed like what I was writing fit so good into this mold because it's talented and it's just like very ornate acoustic like classical things mixed with awesome harmonies. This is the only style that I like, or my favorite style that I like writing for. So,
well, there are streaming services that have said metal gets more hits than pop music. Well, most of the streaming services, and when you think about it, metalheads that grew up in the 70s are probably still listening to some of those bands now.
Sure.
So it has that continuality, and it's constantly getting new fits, but also it mixes so many styles. I mean, the genre tree of metal, I don't even think anyone could name every subgenre of metal at this point.
Yeah, last I checked on Wikipedia, it was like 60 subgenres, and that was like several years ago. So
Yeah,
it's probably got so many more.
Because people just keep combining new things into it.
It keeps branching out.
Yeah,
people combine branches.
The fractal metal subgenre.
I feel like there may be a downside to needing to label every genre of metal because, like,
it becomes pointless at some point.
Yeah, it does. It's at a certain point, like, you're almost like, oh, everyone has to fit in. But that's also the internet. Right now you have access to like 8 million metal bands, and you need some way to mentally like categorize what you're going to listen to because you're not just going to, do an Eminem battle to figure out what new band you're going to give it a try.
Well, I mean, now we will, but
There'll be a lot of M&Ms on that table. I'm like, damn.
You figure you could play Def Leppard. Def Leppard's considered a metal band, especially when they started. And then you can play Napalm Death.
Yeah.
And if someone didn't know anything about music, you said, are these two the same genre?
Yeah.
They'd be like, no, what are you talking about? But in reality, they're both metal.
Yeah.
I think once you get over the shock of some of like, especially like the vocals being so different from what you're you're used to listening to, like if you're just like introduced to music from a pop side, like then I think you fully embrace like the music. Like Cradle of Filth was one where it's like I could tell like the songs were great, but like it took me a little bit to get over like the singing. And I think that's like once you cross over that barrier for a lot of metal, you're like, oh, this is
opens
awesome.
up a lot of. Oh yeah, we have a fun fact about Cradle of Filth, right? Because our
friend Donnie. That's the fact you're thinking.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, our buddy Donnie, who is originally from Eighth Realm, he guest soloed on us for Super User on Hell and Contempt, but he plays guitar for Cradle of Filth now.
Oh, nice.
With them.
So we retroactively have a great a guest solo from Cradle of Filth guitarist. It's like the comic book you find in your attic that's worth $1 million. It just like increases in value over time as he gets more famous.
Hey Donnie.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome to see his journey and see where he's at right now. It's like it's
not
amazing.
Be jealous at
Is he
all.
still
About
in
I'm super jealous. Yes.
Is he still in Eighth Realm?
Yeah.
Okay. I saw them open for Unleash the Archers a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I mean they're seems like they're touring so much now, and man, that's a tough life. It's like, dude, the touring life. Kind of glad. I don't know. Like I think at a point in my life I would have wanted to do it, and I kind of like still do, but also like, damn.
Yeah.
Just
that's
brutal. And I know people. I have some friends who do live like that, and it's like. Can't have a lot of attachments, what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think like because we went on like a mini, nothing crazy, but like a mini tour, and we got a taste of it, and we do these like little small touring blocks here and there, and while I absolutely love it, and it's fantastic, it's like there is like I don't want to say dark side, but there is it drains you in a way that you're not thinking of until you actually like go through it, and just like move it.
When you have more comfortable quarters, you have a place to sleep. There's nothing like finishing a show at 2 a.m. And then it's like, oh, well, now we need to find a place to sleep, and we probably need to hit the road a bit. So, we'll drive for an hour or two before, so we might not be checking in until like 3, 4 a.m.
Yeah, it's just something that's taxing on you in ways that you don't realize until you actually do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. Do you have any other questions for them? Are you sure?
Well, you only got Bob's influences.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's true.
I
Yes.
was trying not to cough, so
Steve.
yeah, no,
Right.
go for it.
Yeah.
Everyone's.
I feel like obviously Maiden comes out in a lot of the riffs. Blind Guardian, I think, as well. I'm trying to keep the list short. I'd probably also say like Sabotage and Symphony X. I really love
Nice.
those bands. And I try to be like a slow version of Michael Romeo in some places, but fuck it, forget it. Like there's no way. But I just love those different sounds and try to capture a little bit of that.
Yeah.
And Manowar for all the screaming that is undeniable.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Steve share a lot of the influences. I have, blanking a little bit. What do I listen to?
I stole them all.
Stole them all. Yeah, no, that kind of stuff. Like, I really got in, obviously, like, Maiden, Priest, Metallica in high school, and then, like, end of high school, got into the European stuff, like, holy shit, blew my mind. Theater Tragedy, Nightwish.
The symphonic stuff.
Blind Guardian, like, back then, like, I went on a class trip to Spain in 2000, and like they had Blind Guardian albums you couldn't get here in the department store, and I was like, oh, I'm in paradise. And like Therion albums you couldn't, like, you literally couldn't buy in America, and I was like, this is amazing. So so that stuff had a huge influence, but I try to stay current on stuff too. Like, I try to get into new stuff as much as I can, like, try to find new sounds and stuff too, so trying to always evolve. You need the hammer?
Yeah, Bob's misbehaving.
Bob!
Grab my boots.
I'm sorry, Greg. I have no disrespect to your influences, but I have to pee really bad. So take your time.
So unprofessional.
So, Greg, what about you?
I tend to have a bit more of a mainstream background. I wish I could name a lot of obscure stuff, but it tends to be a bit more on the mainstream side. So, Kill Switch, Avenged Sevenfold, and All That Remains, Nightwish, Tool.
Definitely Tool for me too.
Yeah, and I think that's one that like is just an obvious for all four of us. Where I think we're all really huge into Tool.
I don't think Steve is.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I never really got into Tool.
Okay.
But also, that's so high school for us. Like, I feel like what Bob said, like Green Day, Radiohead, Tool, like, also, like, we're 90s kids, so, grunge, Alice in Chains, you know what I mean? Like, White Zombie, like, that stuff was, like, the coolest shit, like, you could be into, and we didn't know about... I didn't know about Iron Maiden. I found my first Iron Maiden record in a dumpster when I was in 9th grade.
Really?
It was
I'm not going to ask what you were doing in a dumpster.
we lived down...
We were looking for things to smash for our backyard wrestling.
Yeah, probably. No, this dude, he lived... My buddy lived in apartments, and he was like this, like, metalhead guy. We were like 15. He was like 25. He was like in a thrash metal band. He threw out Iron Maiden vinyl, Dio vinyl, Grim Reaper.
Wait, decide those weren't cool anymore?
I guess they were in the dumpster. We were dumpster diving, man. I found
dog peed on him, so I'm gonna throw him out. I don't know.
Last in Line, Number of the Beast, See You in Hell. Found him in a dumpster.
Wow.
I came home. I played the Dio album first, and I was like, the only metal bands I knew were Metallica from the radio, Load Era, and Fate's Warning, because I just like was BMG Music Club, and I'm like, oh, that sounds neat. I'll try it. And it was like, and then I heard Dio, and I was like, oh my god, and that was that, dude. I forget how that happened, but yeah.
Was Five Finger Death Punch one of Greg's influences?
It was not.
Sound guy.
Is Tool or Seven Dust?
It was Tool.
Tool!
Seven Dust is pretty good, man. Sometimes I listen to the first Seven Dust album, and I'm like, this holds up.
Yo, I jam on some of that so much stuff.
I like that.
Never got into them.
I don't know if they
Actually, most of your bands I never got into.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anything after the first Seven Dust album is any good, but I will listen to that first. I have a little bit of a spot for new metal.
There's some. I mean, when it first started and bands like Korn came out, I thought they were fantastic.
I always
Because it was different.
fucking hate Korn.
I don't know, that one album's good.
Yeah.
The first two I think I liked because they were different. I didn't sound like anyone else.
Yeah.
And then everyone sounded like Korn, and it was like, oh,
Yeah.
well, you've ruined it. Okay.
I liked the rap stuff. I liked Head P. I liked the first Limp Bizkit album. I liked Snot. And
Yeah,
like,
those are all the ones I didn't get into.
yeah, kind of like. I was watching that. Oh, what was it? The Woodstock '99 documentary where on Netflix, where it was like, "This is how it all went wrong. There were riots, and they're like, Limp Bizkit did it. They were playing break stuff." And I'm watching it, and I'm kind of like, "Oh, this kind of rocks." And I was like, "No, it's bad. They were bad boys. They were dirty jocks."
I couldn't stand new metal. I never got into it.
That was for cool kids, sort
And
of.
Tool kind of stands outside of everyone else.
Oh yeah, like
They're just their own thing.
I wouldn't put them in that bucket.
I liked everything up to Enema. I didn't care about the stuff after it so much. But Enema's another one that's almost an hour long, and it's pretty much perfect.
That's true. You know what? I
Yeah.
will give you that.
I did think of that when you mentioned that. I was like, I mean, I'll be honest. I tend to skip some of the songs that are, well, they're not songs,
The
but
filler tracks.
Everyone skips ions. Yeah, everyone skips it.
negative
You know what I mean?
ions,
You
yeah.
hear it once and you're like, all right, well, I got it. Let's get to some anima. Let's
Yeah.
get to the song anima. And everyone like it, you know, God bless them, but everyone skips the hell's his name? The comic.
Harry Manback. Oh no, the
Bill, what was it?
Bill Hicks
Hicks.
intro
Yeah,
on
everyone skips Bill Hicks and like the 5-minute intro to get to the which is one of my favorite songs,
Third Eye.
Third Eye.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just heard somebody on the radio, or somebody had their radio blasting behind my house, and they had eulogy blasting, and I was like, okay.
yeah, dude.
Oh, can we do real quick? And if we want to end with this, that's fine. But like, there's many perfect albums. I feel like Enema is a perfect album. The band might not be your favorite band or whatever, but the albums are perfect. We should go around and say what we think are perfect albums.
Oh, I need a minute.
I'll start it, man.
Good.
Okay. Offspring's Smash is a perfect album.
I'd say Operation Mindcrime from Queensrÿche.
Nope.
Okay. Dude. It could make me. It'll make me look at my Spotify playlist. Somebody else.
Like, just the flow. It's like, not every song has to be the perfect song, but it's like, you listen to the album, you're like, that was a perfect, wholesome album. I feel like we had a lot of those in the 90s.
Yeah.
I feel like
I think that I could name off like dozens of them, honestly.
like, I feel like you could say that if, even for like Dookie. You can listen to Dookie front to back, maybe not like a million times. Okay, Computer, I feel
Yeah,
like,
when we played that for one of my parties, like everybody, you kind of forgot how many banging tracks are on there, and even though people hadn't listened, a lot of people probably hadn't listened to that in 15 years, maybe longer. Everybody still somehow knew the lyrics. It
Then I got
just
mad,
immediately
'cause
came back to them.
You remember the next year we played the Smash album, and
Yes.
no one gave a shit. I'm like, how
We,
did you not? Like,
What song was that? It wasn't "Gotta Get Away" with
Bad Habit.
or "Gotta Get Away." Maybe it was. Yeah, Bad Habit.
Mm.
And it got to the part where like, all right, everybody, this is the crowd participation part. Everybody get in, and
No.
like there was like 2 or 3 people. It was like, what is wrong with you people? Like, how do you not know this? That was a little disappointing.
I'm gonna come up with one later. I would normally know it. You know what I mean? Like.
This is the part where Lou sends you a home video, like, okay, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like digging my CDs out of the fucking. I mean.
What Iron Maiden album can you listen to from start to finish, and you don't want to skip anything?
No, I don't want to go Iron Man. It's too obvious. It's
Okay.
like the obvious choice. I mean, I think like the second Nightwish album,
Second one, really.
probably.
I like what is it?
Except it's not perfect because the one Bette Midler cover or whatever the fuck it is like
yeah.
too. It's
I'd say the fourth one.
Century Child.
Yeah,
Really good. Really
I
good.
think that's my favorite from them. That and Once.
I can't call it perfect, dude. I'm such a like.
I guess it once.
No, I
That's
like
what a
this.
CD
I like
calls
this. I
it
like this
perfect.
because it's like a perfect album means you have to be able to play it from start to finish. It's like,
And enjoy it all the way
There's
through.
Yes,
so
you
many
enjoy it
like
all the way through.
close like Ziggy Stardust. Man, there's like there's like everything's 100%, and then there's 2 songs that are like 90%. Otherwise perfect. Like, oh.
See, I would throw out there Eternal Nightmare from Violence. 35 minutes long, thrash from start to finish. There's no weak moments.
Well, see, because they edited down.
There was one song they weren't allowed to put on there, and that was Paraplegic. The record company went, no, you're going to leave that one off. So it would have been 40, and that was also a great song.
I have 2. One is Sheer Terror, Just Can't Hate Enough, and Subhumans, The Day the Country Died.
I don't know either of those.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I have an EP. That's perfect.
Okay.
It's a hardcore EP. It's One King Down. The first EP. More Hate Than Fear. Just makes me want to crush. So good. I don't listen to much hardcore because I think that was one of the first hardcore bands I got into, and nothing else was that good. So it like just ruined the genre for me.
Well, I love them, but like I get the songs convoluted for which albums they're on. Is there a perfect Rage Against the Machine album?
Yeah. Well. Yeah. No. The first one, the first album is obviously like 95% there, but like I feel like that has that really slow song that everyone skips.
Was it self-titled?
The 4th track.
The first album?
Oh, dude.
How about you, Steve? While he looks at that.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know that I have.
Perfect is so hard.
Yeah, perfect.
It really is.
Perfect is hard. I mean, I think there are albums that like I don't know, like there are albums that I think just sound and feel better than other albums. Like the album I'm thinking of right now is like Amorphous Under the Red Cloud. Not because the songs are perfect, but because something about that, the way they recorded it, it just sounds so clear and energetic all the time. Like I don't know what they did, but like I love Insomnium, and like we were like driving on one of those short tours. And like Insomnium is like doing their thing, and it's like very sad and mellow, and like the guitar tones are such a way, and the vocals are such a way, and like the whole thing like seems kind of like I'm like driving at like 3 a.m, and I'm like, this is not happening. And I switched to that Amorphous album, and like it has dynamics and has like such a level of like clarity that I'm like there's some magic in this that they recorded it a certain way, and it just sounds like it just sounds like something to it is just better somehow, even though I like the Insomnium songs more. I don't know. I'm not answering your question.
There's some bands that I love Zeal and Ardor. Zeal and Ardor are one of my favorite bands. The first record has some amazing songs on it, but as a whole, as a full record, it's okay. The second record, I think the songs aren't. There's no songs that are better than some of the best ones on the first record, but as an album, it's a better album. Like as a whole, the flow of it, and it's a concept record too, which probably helps that.
Yeah.
I think it's harder for metal genres to have perfect albums because, like with punk stuff, like with Offspring Smash, I think like there's a song, "What in the World Happened to You." It's kind of different than it's like slower. It's more like ska.
I'm not like the other songs.
No, it's not. Yeah. It's not my favorite, but like within the continuity and the flow of the album, I don't need to skip it because it's like, okay, while it's not my favorite, it still has a place in the album, and it's so short.
I was just gonna say, yeah.
It's like
I'll just let it. Yeah,
it's the same thing with.
Why waste half a calorie hitting the skip button? Well, just let it go.
It's like what's the other one I mentioned?
Broke that down.
What I mentioned earlier, Dookie. It's like that's another one. It's like it's a perfect album. There aren't like there's like 2 songs in there that aren't my favorite. But like they're so short, it's like, and they have a flow to them. Like the whole album has a flow. Whereas I feel with metal, it's like, okay, that song that you might not like is also 7 minutes long. You know what I mean? And it really like it takes away the continuity.
When you mention Iron Maiden, like my favorite Iron Maiden album is Seventh Son for a Seventh Son.
Yeah.
But I don't like the title track, and that's the longest track on there. And I feel like the reason I don't like it is it felt like they wrote a long song to write a long song rather than it being inspired. You know, like we got to write a long song because everyone loves Power Slave and Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, so we need that long song. And it's like this would have been fine if it was 3 minutes long. You know?
Yeah, you can get in your own head when you're trying to.
Lou's still doing research.
You know what album I like from start to finish? And I don't think there's weak spots in it. It's Held in Contempt by High Council.
Nice.
We were listening to the back of the catalog on the way up. We're like, yeah, this one is pretty good.
There's literally no songs on your records I don't like.
See,
But
because
that
we
one is
don't
the-
make that many.
Or ahead.
You quit while you're. All right,
You're gonna hate our 8-song album.
Yeah. No, all right. So I think Tool. I don't think I could do better than Tool Enema being a perfect album, but I think In Flames Colony is probably the closest I could do. Like this, they're so good. It's so good.
You know why I think Tool, Enema holds a special place for us is because back when we first listened to it, like, I don't know about you guys, but that was like, you know, listening to it on cassette in my room in the dark. So you're fully immersed in like a
Soundscape?
yeah, you're fully immersed in like what are those things called where it's like you're floating in water and
Oh,
so-
yeah.
Like sensory
Yeah,
deprivation.
you're like
Yeah.
you're sensory deprived because you're like full of angst in your room, living at your parents' house with the lights turned down, and you might have a candle lit and some incense burning. You're like,
Yeah.
and that's like so.
I wasn't a weirdo.
I didn't go up in a cult, Bob. Or the Catholic Church.
Or like your lava lamp in
did.
your room is lit and you're listening to Tool and you're having like a out of body spiritual experience.
Yeah, no, I mean it was.
Yeah,
pretty
I actually couldn't get into Tool for a long time. I felt like I liked some songs, but then that album came out and I bought it, and everybody was raving about it, and I took a listen and I was like, I guess it's okay. But
right,
then
like it doesn't hit the first time.
it absolutely does not. And then I had it on in the background, and I just let it go on repeat, and then like in a second or third, it's like it starts to sink in,
Yeah.
and then once it sinks in, obviously it's over.
See, like my problem is like now it's like streaming or whatever. So like, and like I don't have any nostalgia for physical media. Like I really don't. I don't give a shit about records. I don't give a shit about CDs.
Wow.
I have them. I own them. I'm not getting rid of them. Sometimes I buy them,
Right.
especially for local bands.
Yeah.
But I don't have.
That's how I feel.
I don't have the attachment that people have to it because the important thing is the music. But with streaming, like, you know, if you didn't buy it, maybe you wouldn't give it that third listen. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you hear something
Yeah.
once or twice and you'll be like, it's not hitting. But, like, I had albums that I just listened to because I fucking bought it.
Yeah.
And I was stuck
Yes.
with it. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to listen to it again. And, like, you know, maybe it's like, I try to give every band their due, but, like, maybe you don't give them that chance. So that's sad. How we doing? We running out of batteries?
I don't know. I don't know what's beeping.
Well, we should probably
that's probably
Yeah.
tell.
All right. So once again, you are High Council,
Yes.
and you'll be back.
Don't hold the fact that we talked about Green Day and Star Trek for 2 hours against us. Go buy all our music.
India's got some
Or
bangers,
at the
man.
very least, when our album was released on the same day as 13 other metal albums. Have an
13?
Eminem
You're really
battle.
underestimating.
Have an Eminem battle. Give us a one.
yes.
Make us the top
Yes, we need to be the top.
I didn't realize it would take off quite so much.
I mean, that's a fucking nutty thing.
It's peanut M&Ms.
Yeah, right. Yeah, peanut M&Ms are like the mecha armor of like the M&M fucking game.
We'll definitely be back. The sound is great here. We had a great time coming up here. Like,
Good.
you know, I think.
We love driving.
Yes, I think, what was it? It was like 5-6 hours. That's like a very good point where like we're not getting tired of each other. Get some stops. Nah, it was good. It was. I love it.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming up.
Awesome.
All right.
Turn it off! Turn it off!